Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome to What's Up Universe. Oh my gosh, Friday, April the 5th. It is a brand new month of 2024. We've got some really potent, powerful energies that are going to be making their way to us over this weekend. Of course, we've already been playing it in these energies for the last couple of weeks. Things have really got intensified, and of course, really now opening up to new pathways, new beginnings, new possibilities, and really up leveling all facets of life. So I'm so glad we get to have this conversation today. And of course, it has been long overdue. I'm so grateful to have my voice back and to be able to actually talk with you. So major bonuses all around. So yes, we are in the middle of this very potent, powerful time. The energies of April are really instrumental in helping us to up level all aspects of our life. This is really when we look at the combination of the super new moon, the eclipse energy taking place, and really what April is representing. It is a doorway that's opening up to greater potentials and possibilities for our life. So it's a very exciting time. This is an action oriented phase for us. Action meets inspiration, not a forced action, but an inspired action. There are things over the last couple of weeks, the first, but in the eclipse doorway, that first week where we are getting clear on what it is we truly were wanting for our life, what's working, what's not working, what are the things that we'd love to be experiencing differently, and what needs to heal, and what have we been hanging on to that it's time to be able to let go and purge and clean up so that we can make space for the things that we truly desire our life to become. And so we're at this beautiful auspicious time where all things become possible. And so this is a really potent time, not only for us in terms of our communication with the non-physical world, but of course in really shifting our physical experiences with this life of ours. So again, as I've said to you, time of before, 2024 is a year of great possibilities and potentials, lots of physical manifestations, lots of changes taking form. So you right now under this these eclipse energies, you are probably in deep consideration of what life looks for you. Everything in terms of what is your physical health, where it is you'd like to have your health, your vitality to be aligned with what would be the energy body, or it's like getting your outside to match how you feel on the inside so that it's coalesced and it's in flow. This may also be physical changes to your environment. There may be an absolute physical move, a change of residence, even maybe even renovation in your current home or redecorating or something. It's like the physical expression around us in our environment is also looking to change. And so there's, our relationships have been under the magnifying glass and looking at relationships in what we want to nurture, what needs to heal, and really establishing or creating the boundaries and expressing our needs within relationships. And of course, that is also in conjunction with our relationships with the non-physical world as well. So this might be a time with the increased potency of energy and the increased potencies of connection to the unseen world that you may also look at what do you require in order to increase or to up level the relationships you have with those loved ones on the other side, what needs to heal, what needs to be reconciled within you. Also, what about those connections, to your spirit guides, to your angels? How can you create more of an intimate relationship so that you feel the love, the support, that you have the guidance, the inspiration is flowing in constant form. Now, we're going to be experiencing that over this next week. And so this really isn't, when we understand it's not just these opportunities where all of the cosmos align and the planets line up and things come into this beautiful opportunity for us to have heightened connections with our spiritual teams, but to know that it is possible to have that heightened connection to your spiritual team at all times. And so that's a big piece of what all of my programs are about. It's about really cleaning out the filter and honoring the whole self and shifting the beliefs and honoring the aspects of our humanness and our worthiness, as well as opening up to greater channels and greater flow between the physical and non-physical world. So It really is, again, a very important time for us on a personal level, and a very important time for us in terms of, answering what is the soul's call. How may I serve? What is it that will be in the highest and best for me and for all of humanity? So big shifts playing out and happening not only in our own little personal worlds, but of course we're going to see playing out on the global stage as well. So lots of shifting, lots of changing, lots of new beginnings and positive momentum in store for us. Now, of course, because it is a little bit of fire energy, it's going to be bubbling up all kinds of things for us, dependent on where we are on our path, how far along we are on our journeys, or even when we look to the greater collective in terms of what is the scope of waking up that is playing out. So we're going to be looking and seeing a lot happening in the world around us. And again, the invitation is come back to home, come back to center, come back to being within your own self, within your own life. Because again, the only thing we can focus and change is how we are responding or reacting in the moment. The only thing we can, focus and change is about creating the peace inside of ourselves, in knowing that that will and does have an effect and ripple effect of peace in the global states of things as well. So we can feel very helpless, we can feel very hopeless, there can be things that are occurring, and of course, you're seeing it as much as I am, of what's happening in the flux of shift and changes for humanity. And it can feel overwhelming. I know many of you and I have had those conversations as well, that feeling of absolute, uncertainty as to what it all means. But the invitation here, especially under these energies, is to come back to home, to pay attention to our physical environments, what needs to shift and change at home with our relationships, our interpersonal relationships, but more importantly, our relationship with ourself, our relationship with our guides and angels, because that is where we are going to be able to pull in all of the hope, all of the faith, all of the confidence, and of course the inspired action steps and ideas that are going to help in support of us and in support of others. So this is a massive growth energy that is opening up for great potentials, great possibilities. And so, again, we have to really be clear of how it is that we feel called to serve, and really trusting in the guidance we're receiving, and trusting in trusting that all good is going to unfold, right? So we're here. We could say that the temperature is turning up on things. When we look at this new energy cycle, this is a highly active cycle, lots of, again, where the lack a lot of action oriented, especially within what is our personal life, because the invitations are to come home. And so again, we're looking at, under as you're setting intentions and you're looking at utilizing the power of this new moon and this total lunar eclipse, this is again where this is a great time to look at, what new projects, is there a new job, is there something within your own sense of creativity, whether it's writing a book, putting classes together, a program you're looking to launch, even your business. This is a real opportune time to look at bringing some of those pieces together. Again, as I said, you might decide to move to a new home. You might do some renovation in your home, rearranging of furniture, painting your walls, redecorating, whatever that's going to be. There is a creative energy about here. So doing anything creative over this next week, creative, in terms of, yes, those things that you want to take out into the world, but even utilizing that creative energy that is within you is really going to help you to buoyant through this time, but also to open up to a heightened experience of vibration and vitality. You may also find that you've got, when it comes to your physical body, this may be a time where you're experiencing, under this current of energy, a lot of aches and pains, tension, tightness. You might even find that through this, you might be very dizzy. You might be having headaches. You might find that, you're just just it's like everything even the thymus gland, I want to say, maybe is pulsating or vibrating at higher levels. You might even feel it within your belly, within the solar plexus, where stimulations of energy or activations of the worthiness and the confidence and the bolstering of all of those energies really starting to come in, which means if the solar plexus is happening, you might be having weird cravings and or really considering how you're eating, what are your habits for eating, where are there changes in appetite, and can you honor those changes or the invitations that the body is making in order to help not only through this flux of high vibrational energy of an action orientation, but in creating it in terms of what is a new way of life for you. This is also at times, anything that we can do in creating health within our body, giving ourselves a healthy outlet for creativity is really going to help us to buoyant and move, through here. It may even be looking at, we know and understand when we're feeling the aches and pains and tightness in our, excuse me, in our bodies. Sorry, my voice still isn't 100%. But when we're feeling that, looking at what can we do in terms of movement, maybe it's time to start the yoga practice. Maybe it's time to commit to regular, morning sessions of qigong. Is there something you can do for your body to begin to express the energy so that you're becoming more physically active in some way? This is also an opportune time if you've been, looking, you cleaning and decluttering, making space for. This is also highly important when we have intentions, we have dreams and plans and ambitions and things that we're wanting to bring into our lives, and we need to make space for. We need to clean up the clutter. We need to organize our closets. We need to do that spring cleaning, which is always about making space for what is new that is looking to come into our lives. And so we're purging things not only on a physical and emotional level through these last couple of weeks, but now we're on purging what would be the physical space of things. And so this is, again, we need to really consider everything in terms of our personal life. And more importantly, we're not procrastinating, we're taking action. And action here, again, there's a difference in action. There's always that, what is the force of action? What is the inspiration? I always say inspiration is like spirit is moving us towards something. And so really being able to honor the ebb and the flow, those things where we're feeling the motivation, we're feeling the urge, we're feeling the awareness to do something, we're honoring the ebb and the flow, and we're taking action when action feels so strong inside of us. And of course, honoring the ebb, we want to make sure that we're creating balance and flow so that things are moving with ease in our life. So it's not about creating stress. This isn't about, oh, it's, you've got things to do and it's time to get into action, and you're looking and going, oh my gosh, there's the pressure to get things done. No, 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 that's not it at all. This is about finding balance and taking inspired action. When you feel moved to do something, honor that. When you want to make sure that, of course, you're allowing for the universe to guide you. For there's no pressure in this. There's no having to achieve or prove yourself. It's about honoring yourself. And the universe and spirit are constantly gifting us with opportunities for us to move forward with ease and grace. And so we begin to tune in and listen to the energies that are present, and letting the energy stimulate and activate us into moving forward. Now, again, beyond procrastination, we don't want to get into resistance and putting it off. We want to utilize this time as saying, okay, there is something that is calling for me. There is something that I can take action on. And so that's a really important factor under this energy as well. So we are moving into this high frequency energy. Now, again, not only are we looking at what do we want to manifest and bring into form in our physical life, what changes do we need to make, what action do we need to take in order to up level everything. We also need to look at what this is in terms of our connection to the non-physical world, because here again, the filter is always being cleansed and cleared. We're always being lifted in terms of service. And again, our services mediums is through the messages that we offer to people, through the frequency and vibration that moves from behind the words that we have to share, as well as our personal frequency and vibration of being in presence. Like we can be of service by being present. We can be of service by holding a prayer. We can be of service by, expressing compassion and love and holding space instead of moving out of judgment. Now, where we have this fiery energy, the ego is going to be a little tempered through all of this as well. And as always, holding center, holding heart, holding ourselves to a higher ordinance or a higher expression of ourselves. Now, authenticity is always on the table. The invitations over and over again, of course, have for us to be true, to be authentic in who we are, to be expressing, using our voice, allowing ourselves to express and to be of service. And again, we're looking at that integrated aspect of the spiritual and physical life right now. But we're also looking at who, this call to serve, and what is it that we're here to do? How is it that I'm made to serve? What changes do I need to make and alter in my physical life that are going to allow me to have a greater connection, greater ease and flow, and help me to step forward in my path, and help me to step forward and express not only my most authentic self into all aspects of my life, but the most authentic mission and purpose of what it is my soul is here to express and achieve and accomplish in this lifetime. So we're this is such a potent time that not only is it helping in terms of our physical world, but it's increasing what is our soul's light and potentials, helping us in preparation for what is our greater call through mediumship. So this is where, again, the acceptance of self, the nurturement of our gifts and talents and abilities, the nurturement of our relationship with the non-physical world, being able to truly trust, really honoring and no longer being in a place of what may be avoidance of the non-physical, or living in fear of the non-physical. Whatever we need, it's like the invitations are asking us to step in, to expand, to step in, to trust, to step in and utilize our beautiful abilities to be able to be of service, not only in our lives, but of course in helping and in benefit in the lives of others. So it really is, this is a strong, strong time. And in order to help us do that, there are all kinds of shifts and changes that are taking place, even within our soul senses. So not only does our physical vision, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but things almost seem clearer in terms of eyesight. We're seeing more physically. We're in more of a place of taking in the world around us, but our clairvoyance is being sharpened and heightened. So if you've been someone who has been experiencing blocks in clairvoyance, just know this energy. If you're experiencing headaches, if you're feeling, a lot of pain or shift behind the eyes, that this is a part of the activation of greater clairvoyance as well. So anything you can do to support, and of course you can go back to the level 1 manual where I've got all those tips and tricks for balancing and supporting your energy centers. It would be really great to do this in order to, massaging the oil, helping the third eye to begin to really open up, because the inner vision, the clairvoyance is being heightened. Our senses in terms of hearing, our clairaudience, of tasting, of our clairsentience, everything is being refined. So we're going to be experiencing, not only the physical experiences, even within clair empathy and clairsentience, where things are going to be almost the I'm going to say that they're being refined, which means or activated in new ways, or brought into a synthesis where we're going to be, really feeling things on a deeper level. But deep feeling it deeper isn't a bad thing. This is not about, oh no, I'm going to feel so much more. No, it's the beauty of it, because in the feeling is what's going to allow for greater messaging, for even personal realizations and aha moments, but really helping us to read the energies, to begin to honor what is, what is best for us, what is not best for us, but also in honoring and understanding those greater messages that are looking to be relayed from the non-physical world to us, whether to us in support of our personal life, or when we're doing our healing sessions, our readings, or we're in service to other people. So again, really, really heightened. It's like all of the soul senses, everything are being regulated or refined. So anything we can do to support our energy centers is very important over these next few days. Because again, when we look at, I talked about the headache. You might feel dizzy, you might feel a little spaced out. And so anything, here, the fluctuations and shifts and changes are because of the activations and the recoding within our energy templates, the recoding within the subtle body system that is creating the acceleration of not only our life in terms of, with this eclipse, but also the acceleration of our path and purpose. And so with it becomes these new experiences with or experiences or refinement within our connection, in our communication with the non-physical world. So everything is sharpening, everything is becoming keener, clearer, more concise. And of course, our job is really to be allowing, to be utilizing and trusting and receiving the guidance, doing our journaling, getting, the information, and of course, taking action. Okay. Now, you might find, I know one of the things, for me, I mean, obviously, dealing with, everything in terms of communication, the invitations for silence, the invitation to go within, the invitation, because again, we are all being prepared and we're all being held and we're all being supported through every shift and change that's taking place, whether we are consciously aware of it or whether it's happening at that subtle or unconscious level. And so we're really moving into new paradigms. We're moving into new ways of living. We're moving into, again, these are new timelines, new frequency bands, new information for us and in support of what is the soul's purpose. And so even with that, you might even find that you're uncomfortable not only in your physical body, where I talked about the aches and pains. Maybe you even find that your skin is itchier than maybe what it's been. You might even find that you're uncomfortable, or I know for me, I was having like these feelings of, oh my gosh, I just need to shake, I need to get out of my body, I need to get out of the skin that I'm in. All of that is just the confirmation that we're shedding the old self, we're shedding the old way of living, we're shedding the old timelines, the old DNA, we're shedding all of it so that we can so that the newness can emerge, like our new skin, our new self, and I don't want to say a new self like we've changed. It's just the greatest expression of our authenticity, our greatest expression of our soul's light and of our truth and purpose here. So there's lots in terms of, what we can be experiencing for this as well. You might also, you might not be noticing anything, and that's perfectly fine, but just know that there is change happening. And it's welcome change. There's many things that can be playing out for us physically, emotionally, and of course, I'm going to talk about mentally. There's a lot, and again, based on conversations and things, you might find that your mind is spiraling. Not only, like I said, you might find you're spaced out, but you might find that you're overthinking, you're over analyzing. It's going to be natural as much as we're being asked to not fall into procrastination and self-doubt through these energies. It's going to be natural for our ego, for the ego mind to take us there. So it also becomes a really valuable time to not only, of course, are we setting the intentions of where we'd like our life to go, but also affirming things for ourselves, working, whether that's with physical affirmations, or we're looking at pivoting the mind, becoming very present, very mindful, very conscientious of what we are allowing ourselves to plant into this energy stream. What are we putting in? Because whatever, of course, we focus on is what we give our attention to, is where our energy flows, and where our energy flows is what the universe is paying attention to. So we also need to be very, very conscientious about what our mind is planting, because every thought that we have has an emotional connection, and that emotion is emanating, that emotion is energy in motion, and it's emanating and it's expressing into this catalytic current under the eclipse as well. So we need to also just know, over these next few days, you might already have been experiencing over this last couple of weeks, it's been really hard. Maybe one, to stay focused, maybe one, two, to stay positive, or three, to feel gratitude for life, whatever it is. But coming into these spiritual practices that are going to help to upshift not only your connection with the non-physical world, but upshift the mindset as well, because we want to look at everything from the choices we're making for our physical body to our mind, as well as how we're nurturing our spirit during these times. Everything is shifting, and of course, this April is serving us as such a catalyst of change, for not only us as individual, but change in what is evolution, change in terms of everything, every facet of our life. So just know that the temptation of the ego mind is going to be to go in the downward cycle, to maybe fall into victimhood, feelings of hopelessness, etc. But this is where I'm going to invite you to utilize the affirmations. You're working with your energy body, you're cleaning things up, you're allowing the support for the energy body. That's going to support the physical body. And then you also need to understand that your mind is going to support the emotional body. And of course, we know, as you hear me say time and time again, our emotional body is what dictates our vibration, and our vibration is what dictates our connection. So in creating greater ease and flow, it's important, to really be looking at all aspects of the holistic self over these next few days as well. Now, astral travel, out of body experiences, vivid dreams, all of that are on the increase. I would, more than anything, because of so much shift and change, that you look at becoming very um, disciplined over the month of April in terms of your spiritual practices, in terms of your gratitude journals, in terms of the choices you're making for your health. Become very disciplined in movement of the body. Look at all these things that, and again, discipline not within what is a pressure, but in honoring what is action in support of all of the shifts and changes, and of course of the up leveling within life, and of course within the frequencies that we're moving through right now as well. So anything you can do to support that. So look at what those are for you, even if that means that you become more disciplined in pulling an oracle card every day. If you become, for your business, that you become more disciplined in terms of managing your accounting, your bookkeeping, and things like that. Like, look at everything where you can be more consistent and more disciplined. And of course, your spiritual practices are what are going to further support your mindset, and of course the health of your body. So it's like, really, when we nurture the spirit, it's easy for the mind to be optimistic and positive, and of course the the body responds to whatever the mind is feeling, right? Or whatever the mind is talking about, the body believes. So it creates, it's not a matter of going body and mind, body, spirit, but we want to nurture spirit so that the mind and the body are more easily attended and cared for. And so anything we can do to become more disciplined, not only within the physical scope of our lives, but more disciplined in terms of our spiritual practices, the easier that April is going to be, the easier we're going to be able to meet the changes and take the inspired action and to honor the ebb and flow that we're going to feel over this next month. And really, this is what's kind of opening up now. What we're doing here is really what is going to be affecting the next 18 months of our life. This is also why it's such an important time to be very conscientious of what the seeds we're planting, very conscientious of the action we're taking, very conscientious that we are responding to life and not reacting or getting entangled within the karmas and dramas of things, but focusing more in terms of how can I become more disciplined so that my destiny and my dharma are supported in this life instead. So we're at this, it's just a beautiful opportunity that we're being blessed with here through and over this next week. So anything you can do to become, as I said, more disciplined within your spiritual practices. This is also what I would really encourage you is to look at doing a space and energy clearing every single week this month. I would even encourage you to do it every 4 to 5 days, really looking, because there's so much that not only is purging and shifting and that we're not only emanating and releasing from our own journeys and our own choices that we're making within our lives and the things that might be happening, but also when we look at the greater collective, because again, we can be taking on and carrying and holding those energies, even with the best, filtering system of light and protection that we have. We want to make sure that we're also taking that responsibility, but becoming very disciplined in that as well. And that's, of course, within your own energy body, but also within your spaces, your homes, your environment, your workspaces, your vehicle, like anywhere that you can look of where you require healthy energy to be, is that you become more disciplined in creating that healthy energy as well. And of course, it goes without saying that our crystals are going to be working overtime as well. So, this is also really, supporting the crystals, putting them out, underneath, not only, within the moon vibrations. You might even find that you have some crystals that don't feel like they're aligned anymore, or that might need to be cleared, recharged, and reprogrammed. You might even find that you want to go and buy all kinds of new crystals right now, because there's a call like for the crystalline energy, not only the crystalline energy of our within our own self and our own energy field, but the crystalline bodies of all of these beautiful forms of consciousness that are here to help and support our health, our vitality in all aspects of our life. So just recognize and know that our space and energy clearings, there are times when we can look at it as being general maintenance, and then there are times where we are called, or what would be really beneficial for there to be an increase of dedication and disciplined ways of being able to ensure that we are showing up in the best possible way, but that we are energetically taking care of everything in the best possible way to support those further our further growth, our manifestations, our these beautiful amazing shifts that are taking place for all of us. So oh my gosh, happy that, oh my gosh, I just love where we're sitting and the opportunities that life it presents to us to make some very positive changes, and of course in working in heaven in support of all of those changes for us as well. Our prayers and intentions are being heard, and so we want to make sure that we're very intentional about our prayers as well, because so much good is looking to manifest and come into form for us. We just need to be very conscientious of the action action that we're taking. And so action, action, action is a big, big part of these April energies. With action brings change. Trust, sweet friends, that everything is going to unfold in your highest and greatest good when you are taking the highest and greatest approach to all of this as well. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for being here with me this morning. And of course, be well, take care of yourself, do whatever you possibly can to nurture yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and of course, spiritually. Allow for devotion and for dedication to what matters most to you. God bless everyone. All right. Take care. Bye bye for now.